Welcome to Phuket News TV and welcome to our look at the Phuket news this week. And we're coming to you today from the showroom for Sansiri at Central Festival. We invited Simon Ostheimer along. Where'd you get that shirt?
Abu Dhabi, as it happens.
Interesting.
My wife likes it.
Okay, well, that's all that matters. And I'd like to thank Central Festival for dressing me. Next time the pants can be a size bigger, that's all. Simon, let's go to our paper this week, and the front page is really a culmination of, I suppose, things that have been happening here on the island for many years. The headline is Who's Bad? And it's really about 11 companies and individuals who were named last week. Yep,
this is the DSI, ongoing sort of investigation. Everyone knows, been in the news for the last few weeks. And yeah, they released this list of individuals who basically gave a warning to and said, if you are doing anything bad, then you need to stop it right now because we're watching you.
We've named you.
And we've named you. So obviously there was a bit of a reaction from the people that were on this list, and 3 of them now said they're going to sue the DSI for defamation. Basically, you know, that they're not up to anything bad, anything untoward, including the chap on our front page who is alleged to be the head of a black taxi outfit at the airport and says he's nothing more than the owner of a few shopping concessions.
Well, they're all going to sort of be denying things crazily, I suppose. Another one of the names, high-profile names, was the Mayor Pian Keeson of Patong. But he's taken a rather unusual step compared to some of the others.
Yeah, so we have these 3 people who've said they're going to sue. Mayor Pian says he has no intention of suing, and in fact, you know, he's a bit surprised that the DSI didn't come and talk to him directly. They know where he is. He's got nothing to hide. And if they want to, you know, have a conversation about things in Phuket, he's more than happy to speak with them.
It has been an interesting process by the DSI, and look, they do look like they're deadly serious about trying to change things. And this could be a watershed for Phuket. It could be all good.
Yep.
But people like Pian Keeson, you would think that this investigation would go and talk to some of these people first before naming them. They seem to be doing things in a rather strange order.
Yeah, well, it's not for us to judge, you know, how their investigation is sort of proceeding.
Yeah, we're journalists.
Yeah, but they could be speaking to them, you know, away from the media attention. As I say, we can't decide on their intentions, but it does seem that by naming and shaming these people, maybe they could have jumped the gun on it.
Yeah. Because what might happen now is some of these people in these lawsuits could go on for months or years, and to the detriment of any change that may or may not happen to Phuket.
Yeah, well, I mean, basically DSI, for whatever reasons, have decided this is the approach that they want to take, so we'll have to see what the results end up being.
What's your tip, looking into the journalistic crystal ball, about what might happen? Do you think this is just going to drag on, or we might finally see some changes?
I think it's part of an ongoing process of improving Phuket, along with many other developments. It's going to take a while. Yeah,
that's what I thought you'd say, and I think you're right. Simon, let's move on to page 3 of the Phuket news this week. And a tourist has perhaps got his timing wrong with a finger signal. I think he was saying, I'll have 1 beer. But somebody misread what he was saying.
Well, I hope no one takes offence to the hand gesture you just made.
Well, no, just ordering a beer.
Yeah, German tourist in Patong basically is walking across the road. This is apparently what happened, and him and his wife almost run over by a couple of guys on a motorbike, and so he turned around, shouted at them, gave them the middle finger, and they stopped the bike, came back and beat him up for making that gesture. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it is considered an offensive gesture by many people.
But maybe he felt that he was offended by the fact he was almost run over.
Yes, that can be offensive too. Yeah, it just shows you, look, you are in a different country. Sometimes you've got to be careful about any hand gestures you use.
Yeah, I mean, these things happen anywhere. And, you know, if it was a different motorbike, different people, maybe they wouldn't have taken offence, and maybe they would have apologised. But it's certainly an unfortunate case, and it doesn't reflect very well on the island.
I think like the V for victory signal in some cultures can be seen as offensive as well.
Depends which way it's facing.
Exactly. And I think when we go like this to say, yeah, that's good, in Western culture that can mean different things in, I think, even in the Thai culture. Yeah. So you have to be careful.
In Malaysia, you have to basically point with your thumb and never your finger. But if you never lived there, you wouldn't even know that. So
yeah. I think
it's interesting.
Thailand, we don't point, we use our hand to point at things. So yeah, all these little things are worth learning before you start putting your middle finger up in the middle of the street.
Yep.
Right. Another interesting story, and there's sometimes a lot of negative stories in the Phuket News or the other newspapers about the police here on the island, but a really good story and some fast-moving police on page 4. The headline: "Fast arrest for killer of 17-year-old girl."
Yeah, I mean, let's not say that we do sort of negative reports about the police, but we certainly report on a lot of criminal incidents, and they are unfortunate. But we hope by presenting them that perhaps something may be done about it or make people more aware of the issue. But yeah, this is certainly a fantastic work by the police. A 17-year-old girl in Koh Siray. She was in a convenience store in the early hours of the morning, and this guy saw her and apparently tried to steal her necklace. She fought back and then she was stabbed to death. He fled, but within, I think, just a day or two, they'd arrested the guy and he confessed. And so, yeah, fantastic work.
We were speaking just before and saying that this had sort of memories of what happened to the Australian woman when she fought back. Somebody tried to grab her bag and she fought back and she ended up being stabbed.
Yep.
Same situation. Sometimes your life just isn't worth the small amount that might be taken from you.
Yeah, but as you were saying, sometimes it's instinct. You know,
Yeah.
you don't go through that whole process of, oh, should I do this? Are they going to stab me? You're just trying to protect yourself and protect your possessions. But yeah, if you really have the presence of mind, just let it go. If they want your wallet, if they want your bag, just let them take it. You can replace it. And you know, they still probably would have caught this guy anyway because they had him on CCTV.
Because otherwise you might lose your life. Life magazine is in the middle of the Phuket News each week. It's a great read, and this week the front page takes us to Malaysia.
Yeah, it's the Taman Negara, which is at the National Park of Malaysia. Amazing sort of wilderness area, and they still have...
Where is it?
It's in the centre. It crosses between Perak and Pahang, like in the centre of Peninsular Malaysia.
You're not helping me.
Yeah.
Try KL. Is it north of KL?
It's north of KL.
Okay.
Halfway between KL and the Thai border.
All right, cool.
Pretty much. And they still have tigers, very rarely seen, and they still have wild elephants in the park. So the travel story this week is basically a walk through it. They've got these amazing elevated canopy walkways, and it's just a wonderful chance to experience nature that is actually being looked after and preserved for the Malaysians. So that's the main travel story. But lead people's story is Coach Teko.
Oh yeah, now this is for the people that follow the football, the Phuket FC that we cover extensively in Class Act Media. He's the boy from Brazil, which is the headline you've got on page 3 of Life magazine. He's come to save the club. They were currently, I think, 7th on the league.
Now 6th.
Now 6. He's had a win and he's had a draw in his first 2 games.
From what I've heard from our football correspondent, Kazira Hans, who's actually on the road with them now, she reported from their draw just the other night, and she's off to another game this weekend. She says there's just a whole change in the attitude and the spirit of the club, like among the players and also among the travelling fans. Everyone just feels energized, feel like they've turned a page in the season. So yeah, he's had a win, had a draw. Hopefully another win this weekend, and promotion is still possible. Yeah,
well, he's a breath of fresh air, and there's a young Brazilian player who's doing very well in the team as well.
The new striker, Christian Alex, he's part of the exchange program with Cruzeiro in Brazil, and certainly I think if they do get promotion this season, you're going to see a very big sort of Brazilian influence on the club. Yeah. But the first things first, he has to get them to the Premier League. And that's a tough call, but it's very entertaining when you go to the games to watch him, because he gets very, very excited on the sidelines. Yeah, no, I mean, if anyone has not been to a match yet, I urge them to get down there. It's great for the whole family. It's 100 baht. Yeah. And it's great evening's entertainment, and it's like a slice of local life. Now, an important part of our community is the children around, and we've now got a dedicated children's page. Yep. Well, 2 pages, kids section, and about the middle of life. First part of it on the left page there is Let's Play, and it's a column by a Phuket-based mum, mother of 2. And it's basically activities that you can do with young kids, so it's a rainy day outside or it's too hot, which is another problem we have here. She gives you kind of an activity you can do at home with them and keep them entertained, besides putting on the TV or giving them an iPad. Okay, well that's certainly something to look for parents there with kids in the life section of the Phuket News. Simon, another great addition. Back to work and get stuck into the next one. It never stops for you, does it? No, never finish. Simon Ostheimer, Managing Editor of the Phuket News. Thank you for coming. Thank you for having me.
And that's the Phuket News for this week, available at over 600 locations around Phuket. Thanks for joining us on Phuket News TV.